You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey, everybody. Different channel. Sorry, different time. Same geeks. I had it all in my head, and it just
you just thought of it and you just lost it.
I just hopped off of work. But we're here. Thank you so much for joining us at our new time. So stay tuned for all this geekiness. Hi.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Geek Chat on the Experience. I am Rich.
I'm Dez.
And we are coming to you an hour late. But it's not my fault.
Yeah, it is an hour late. You're right.
It is an hour late.
Hi, Easy Reader. Nice to see you. Hi, Mike, too. Hi, Mike. Yes, note. Okay. Yeah, we'll have... I'll have JD, our lovely engineer, drop it in and let you know. Thank you all for coming in and staying with us, even though this is a new time. Very happy. I got a new job, and I have to commute, and so this is how we have to do it. But it's an hour, so it's more condensed geekiness. It's like when you take a lemon and you squeeze out all that goodness, but you don't add any sugar, and then you're left with us. So yeah, because we're sour. We're super sour. So, but yeah,
you are not sour.
You are, but JD, could you please put the link for how folks can fill out the form, because I have to give Mike Asbill his variant cover. Unfortunately, we will not have a variant giveaway this week. Oh, I know, super sad. Hi, Kelly. So if you want to leave, I totally understand, but I hope you stay. Because basically I haven't been able to get over to the place where we have it, so where I get them. So hopefully in the future we will be able to bring this back, but as we are trying to do the show and to navigate this new landscape that we find ourselves in, yeah, we think it's very important to do the show, and we are very important that you're here. So
I just want to say congratulations to you, Mr. Desmond,
for
the book that you did short story in. Desmond did wrote and drew a short story in an anthology called We Belong. Right? Was that the name of it?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah.
And he is one of up for an Ignaz. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Award.
Ignaz Award.
It's a small press award. Yeah, and I just think that's amazing. Congratulations.
For our anthology. It's pretty crazy. Thank you so much for that. I know that I guess I don't know how it's picked or if it's voting or how it's done, but if there's any voting,
we're voting. We're gonna get everyone to vote.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. So I'll definitely post it in here. That way people can vote if they feel so lucky. So yeah, but Mike, work with JD. He'll help you get it because we'll be able to get this to you. So I'm glad that you're on the ball. So, but thank you everybody. Thank you JD. Thank you Barlord. Yes.
All right, shall we get into this bookness?
Yeah. So we're gonna go straight through. We're gonna end it around 6:55. We gotta let our engineer have a break. That way he can eat his carrots and spinach and grow up to be a strong lad. And yeah, so no commercials. We're just gonna run through it. So, JD, run that beautiful bean footage. Our first story is Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. Do you think about that song? From the cartoon.
I remember the cartoon. That's why I was excited to read this.
Even though it's by Dan Didio.
Well, Dan Didio.
Yeah, Rich has a history about Dan Didio, but
oh my God, hold on a minute. I just realized.
What's wrong? Uh-oh.
I never plugged in the microphone.
Oh, I can hear. No, I can hear you. Every computer has a mic on it, so you sound fine. No, I can't hear you now. No, I can't hear you. You have to change it in your settings now to turn that microphone on.
How?
Okay, there you go.
I'm working?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Desmond said, the writer of Defenders of the Earth, #1, Mad Cave, which is our third book we've reviewed now from Mad Cave. Dan Dickey was the writer. Jim Calafiore was the artist.
I know you loved him.
I do. We met him at Comic-Con many, 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 many years ago.
Many moons ago.
Juan Cho was the colorist. Carlos M. Mangual was the letterer. And then some other names. Okay, so that cover was by Jim Calafiore. I first saw his work. I fell in love with his work on Exiles. Do you remember Exiles? Long time ago.
I remember his Blink, his Morph, and all of them.
Yeah. So it's really weird that his art here isn't as, I don't know, angular.
People get older, and styles change. I can still see it in his faces.
Oh, yes.
I can definitely still see it in his faces and whatnot. But yeah, I thought the art was he's a classic. He's, in my opinion, he's like a classic artist who has done this for a very long time. So his layouts and everything were really good. And I thought the action was fun. And we talk about spoilers, and so it starts off with immediately they are the Defenders of the Earth no more because Ming the Merciless has been killed. So far, that's how
chopped his head off.
His heads, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, this is supposed to be a cartoon property, but they definitely took it into not only say a full mature, but seeing a severed head, I was like, okay, that's how we're going with this. So
yeah. I was a little shocked at that too. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Story wise, I'm gonna be real honest here. I was a little disappointed in
how so?
So we're starting this book up. It's a #1, and basically, everyone's broken. Why is everyone broken in every book we read? It seems, is it the new in thing to break down your character so right away?
I think it introduces inflated conflict to give people a reason to stay there, to stay here, to stay involved, because people want to see the resolution. And I think the problem is we're starting from 10, when most people should usually start from a 7 if you want to, then rev up to a 10 and then go back down after your resolution. It just seems like there's just a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff happening in this book. All three, all 4 of these defenders have some craziness going on in their lives. There's just so much happening to each one of them. And the explanation that is given to us it's kind of small, so I think what Didio's trying to do is pepper it in, give everyone a little thing to do, and then he's going to decide what he wants to focus on in the intern before he brings those other things to fruition. Especially with all the stuff happening in the 7 tribes, and then what's going on with Flash. He seems so different, and then the Phantom, all the stuff going on with the Phantom, which they chose to end the story on. So,
and that's what I was interested in. That end part actually that was the most interesting out of all the little plot lines for me personally, is that someone is taking basically who he is, his mantle and the costume.
Yeah, his brother did.
And now killing people.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, and his daughter, and his daughter, the Phantom's daughter has kind of joined forces with the Phantom's uncle to become this. Phantom. Yeah, I'm lost on the lore of Defenders of the Earth.
I just remember the cartoon.
Yeah, so do I. And I do remember some of the books that came out a long time ago with Marvel, when Marvel had the license. But again, I don't really remember. So this is I guess this is the flat jumping on point for people. But the problem is there was just so much that you're given a lot to follow.
Right. And I want to say, Kelly, yeah, kids do see worse, but it was just weird. It's on like the 4th page, not even. It's like one,
Oh yeah, like
2, 3. The 5th
yeah,
page, the head just comes rolling, and you're like,
yeah.
well, that's kind of
Yeah,
odd.
after like, the Phantom gets shot in the back and everything, and I'm just like, wow, like a lot of stuff is happening in this book. But overall, I think the mystery, because it's Kang's illegitimate son or something turned on his father, and he's working with Flash. So something's gonna happen in there, but we just don't know what. So I have to say, for me, Danny Boy brought in a pretty strong issue, and I kind of want to see where it goes. Like,
Yeah.
like it's weird. I never thought it would, because like I remember when Dan. Oh, fantastic, Mike! I'll send your stuff out this weekend. Glad you're able to get it in. It just seems weird the that I'm liking stuff that he wrote, because I did not like his DC stuff at all when he was running it. So to have a 180 like this, I'm like, okay, when he's just focusing on being a writer, it's not bad, not bad.
I was here for the art.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. So our next book up is from Marvel, Spider Society, Enter the Spider-Versers. Number 1. Let me get you the who it's by. What?
No, just continue. It's fine.
The writer is Alex Segura. The artist is Scott Godowski. Colorist is Matt Mila. The letterer is VC's Joe Caramagna. And that cover is by Pete Woods. And so everyone knows, that is not a Virgin cover. They just haven't put all the trade dress on. It's full of trade dress and full of words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what'd you think of this book?
So I'm a fan of the Spidey multiverse, even though, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, it's like long in the tooth, and I get it. Like, it's popular, it sells books, they got movies, stuff is going on, people like these different iterations of Spider-Man. I get it, but damn, there's a lot. And if you have been following the Edge of Spider-Verse mini series, then where some of these people come from. Yes, Bar-Lord, there is a lot, and they keep popping up. What I liked about the story, is that you start with a bunch of spider people, and then it gets whittled down to a core group of spiders that you're gonna follow. So I thought that was really a really nice thing to do that. Now, having again, spoilers, having a Sinister Squadron is what they're called. So it's basically multiverse versions of the villains that have fought Spider-Man. So you got multiple different Green Goblins, Electros, all this other stuff, Rhinos from all these different universes, all coming together as instead of a Sinister Six, you have a Sinister Squadron now that are trying to fight the Spider People in order to do something, destroy the world, I guess. The timelines, it's all something to do with the timelines. Again, another thing that's been overdone for a long time right now is timelines too. But yeah, so you have like a ton of group, a real group of Sinister Squadron, led by a Green Goblin variant of Gwen Stacy, which I thought was like, okay, so you have an evil Gwen Stacy versus Green Goblin Gwen Stacy fighting a Spider version Gwen Stacy. So it's a lot of like that going on. And overall, it was an interesting read, but I think it's going to be better as a trade. I don't think that this is something that can be sustained.
Yeah, I think I tried. I read it and I was like, I think I've actually stopped caring, because I just don't have it in me for more. Okay, so they have Arana, Webweaver, which was in the last Edge of Spider-Verse, they introduced him.
Weapon 8.
Weapon 8, which is a Cyclops Wolverine.
Nope, it's just Spider-Man Wolverine. It's just the Spider-Man that has been. It's just the Spider-Man that basically went through the Weapon X program, and they gave him all of Wolverine's kind of stuff. So it's like healing factor and arms and stuff like that. So he's like a brutal edgelord version of Peter. So yeah.
And then you got Spider-Woman, but not the Spider-Woman Jessica Drew. We have the Spider-Woman that was from the movies.
Hey, Joe.
And then Hunter Spider, who, spoiler alert, somehow betrays the team.
Yeah, it was Kraven the Hunter. It was Kraven the Hunter as a variant of Spider-Man who was a double agent. So, I mean, for me, I was like, oh, that's really cool that they have a Kraven, version of Spider-Man, but he turned out to be a villain. So I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have been surprised. I was annoyed by it, actually.
And I bet you love Spider-Cat.
Oh, see, but it was weird because if you notice, the people that were saved, they had Ramen Bowl Spider-Man. But then they changed Ramen Bowl Spider-Man into Spider-Cat. So I'm like, I don't know. So a bit of editorial mix-up there because Spider Ramen was. I did like that they talked about. Miguel, as he's kind of like the ipso facto leader of the Spider Society. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, this is a lot. Like this is a lot. I have to agree with you, Barlord. It's I think it's cool to see variant copies of people, but like this is a lot. Like I liked it in Exiles because it was fresh and it was new, but now it just seems like it's just been done to death. And I'm like,
I don't think Exiles would be able to. I don't think Exiles would be as good now as it was when it came out, because when it came out many years ago, they actually thought about these what we call variants now. But I feel like everyone has a version and they're everywhere. I did enjoy Halloween Jack because Halloween Jack was from not new.
No,
he goes all the way back from X-Men 2099.
But you know what I mean? It's like we haven't really seen him before in this.
No.
That's
it's interesting they brought him in. Yeah,
exactly. So for that, I was like, oh wow, that's cool. Like he's an actual new character that they brought in from an old. See that? So it's little things like that. It's like you brought someone in that no one had thought about forever. That's cool. But these, the umpteenth variation of Spider-Man, that's not cool. It's like, come on. Yeah.
And yes, Barlord, everyone's trying to bank their money on selling out issues on these first appearances, and it's getting a little tiresome.
I definitely. And the weird thing about it is again, it's not gonna. It can't sustain itself, so it will peter out, and they'll trade it, and then I'll most likely read it as a trade. I mean, it's not that it's bad. It
wasn't bad at all. I'm a little tired of
the
variant.
That's it. Like I just kind of read it and I was like, okay, that's kind of it.
Same.
Now, the next one we're going to review that I actually thought was actually pretty good, and it was told to me by my friend Jeff, said, hey, you really should check this out. I think you'd really like it. And I said, oh, really? And that was the Power Fantasy #1. And I was actually like, okay. I sight unseen, I just started reading it, which is weird though, because I didn't see who the writer was or the artist. He just said, pick it up and read it. So I just picked it up and read it. And it wasn't until after that I saw that it was Karen Gillian was the person who was the writer. So I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Casper Wingard was the artist.
Mm-hmm.
Clayton Cowles was the letterer, and Rain Hughes was the designer.
Yeah. So you've been hearing about this, Barlord. Imagine Akira. Imagine Akira. Imagine the what was that? Oh, Jupiter's Ascending. Oh, Jupiter's the one that Mark Millar did with
Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah, Jupiter's Legacy. Imagine that, but with a little bit more geopolitical leanings, because it's all about this guy, this black guy. I can't remember his name; it's skipping me. Who is a psychic like Professor X, and he has superhuman psychic abilities. Hi, Phil. Welcome in. And he basically enacts this in the 60s. He enacts this plan to guide these superpower people into a better situation, so to speak. And he basically, there's this angelic like creature who was the most powerful of them, who he has to convince because he doesn't want any opposition. And so he has this long game that he's been playing in order to make life for super individuals bearable. And so there's not giant catastrophes in the future. So imagine Professor X and Magneto together working to better use. Basically, instead of Professor X doing everything covertly, he does it kind of out in the open. And so that's kind of what it is. I imagine this is Karen Gillian. He must have got this idea while he was writing X-Men, and then decided, this is how I would have written the Quiet Council if I didn't have Marvel editorial looking over my shoulders and keeping that mandate. I really believe that this is what Karen Gillian's version of X-Men, the Quiet Council, would have been if left to his own devices. That's how I'm feeling when I read this book. What is your thought, Rich?
Well, so I loved his Wicked and Divine. I thought that book was one of the better books that I've read in a long time. It was about the family that, everyone had different superpowers. When I read this, I was like, man, you did it better a decade ago. Like, I did not feel this book like you felt this book.
Really? I'm surprised.
The art, I will say the art
was great.
Was amazing.
Yeah.
The art was amazing. I don't know what it was about this book that...
It was too derivative, maybe?
A little bit for me. I feel like I've read this before. I was a huge Wicked and Divine. I tried to get everybody to read that book. And reading this, I was just like, well, okay. I did not get the oomph that you got out of it.
Really? I really thought that, like I said, I'll stand by it. I really believe that this is Kieran Gillian's take on mutants.
Well, now that you say that, I completely see it. Right? I agree 100%.
Right?
Is that enough for me to read the number 2? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought his display of powers by trying to keep their quote unquote heavy hitter mutant at bay before calling war on the what he did in order for the eye for an eye type of situation, what he did, I thought that was just like, wow. So these people operate on a level that's kind of outside of like what you would think that mutants, Marvel mutants do. And they just did it like it was nothing. So like, what are the repercussions of that? Like, Gillian created such an interesting kind of thing. Like, what happens now? Like, that was the thing that got me about it was if mutants had done this when they had, Krakoa or anything like that, what would have happened? Like, it really feels like that when I read this book. Yes, Barlord. It is trying to do something a little different in that it's turning the whole mutant ideal on its head. Like, imagine a much more aggressive like Magneto and Professor X, and the fact that they're not afraid to use their powers while working with humans. But now, because they did such a strong display of power, can Gillian stick the landing of the repercussions of this? Because the main guy is walking, like, he's painted him walking this very thin line, and I want to see how it plays out. I don't know. I thought it was at the beginning, seriously though, at the beginning when he was talking to that angelic woman and trying to convince her and all this other stuff, I thought, in the 60s, I thought, this is kind of blah, 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 blah. But then when it kind of like went forward, it jumped to like now. That's when I kind of like got, okay, it's contemporary. Okay, I can see this now. Again,
well, there's only 6 people on the world with superpowers, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, no. The 6 super with powers like he has. There are other people that have smaller, insignificant power, but there's only 6 who are like super powerful that can literally rock the world. And I thought that's what I thought was interesting. My cat is trying to attack my stuff. What are you doing? Anyway, but yeah, I definitely think you should check it out. If you think you might like it, definitely check it out. I was really actually very surprised by how much I liked it. So
yeah, check it out.
Yeah. Another book that I was kind of like, I thought there would be more of was Avengers 17. Like she's on the cover and she's only in it for like 3 or 4 pages. Like I totally thought
they gotta, slowly work her in. I was more excited about Valerio Shitty, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the writer is Jed MacKay. This is his first of 2 books we'll be reviewing tonight. The artist is the always amazing Valerio Shitty. I love.
That's how you say his name.
That's how you say his name, Shitty. The color artist is Brian Valenza. The letter was VC's Corey Pettit. And the cover artist is from X-Force, the old X-Force, Joshua Cassara. I love his art. And Guru FX. There was a ton of variant covers as for this. And I am going to say that this issue was basically therapy for heroes is how I read this book. It is an issue that is dissecting everyone's emotional and mental states after the effects of the whole blood hunt.
Hey man. Hey, Meatwad.
This is hey there, Meatwad. This is their quiet issue, I want to say. We just had this major event that was really, 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 really bloated. And now we get a little downtime for the Avengers. And
I think this is a response to like everything that Jason Aaron put them in, because they talk about a lot of stuff that's happened during the Jason Aaron run. And I think I never really thought about it like that, but that is exactly what it is. Like,
the whole
exactly them.
And it got me thinking, because when I was done reading it, I went to Cook and I was like, were the old Avengers books just mental? Oh, wait a minute. They were, because each of these characters, well, most of these characters have their own books. So a lot of this stuff you would think would be in their own books, but no, they're taking time out of a group book to break down each one's mental health. And it was an interesting look at that.
Self-repairing, Easy Rider. You know that is Easy Reader. Sorry, self-repairing. That's what he does. And
now he's a gardener. What did you think of the issue as a whole?
Exactly. So aside from the giant, so the reason why Storm is joining is because Sam Wilson flew to her and said, "Hey, are bad for not helping you out more during the whole fall of the X-Men kind of thing. Are bad. We should be standing for all, people, mutants and everything. And we need a mutant on the team, and we would like you to fill that spot." That's pretty much what happened. I didn't want to say this, but I'm going to, because like you're all my friends, and I think you'd laugh at this. This was like it screamed diversity hire. And the fact that they had Sam Wilson, a black man, go and recruit a black woman had me in hysterics. I was like, what? it was such like a diversity drive. He's like, all right, we ain't got a mutant on the team. Come on, Storm, you ain't doing nothing. And I was like, wow. And so they're flying around the city of New York, having this conversation about representation and them dropping the ball. I have no idea how they're hearing each other because they're literally flying around in the air.
Oh my God. That drove me nuts too. Some of the panels, they are far away, like far away.
Yes.
I can't hear my husband in the next damn room, but somehow they're up flying around in the sky and they're just chit-chatting away. Like,
chatting away. So I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, okay, that's the reason. Like, I thought it was, they needed to do something. Oh my God. No, Wanda's not a mutant anymore, Easy Reader. She is not a mutant. She is.
Yeah, she hasn't been in a while. They screwed the pooch on that a long time ago.
She is not a mutant anymore. They retconned it away. She is no longer, her and Petro are no longer mutants. They are not Magneto's children either. Only Polaris is his daughter. So yeah, they completely retconned that away. So yeah, there are no mutants on the team. There are mutates, but no mutants. So Wanda would, Storm or Aurora would be that person. Yes, Easy Reader, go check it out. It's pretty crazy. It freaked me out too when it happened. But the catalyst. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say the whole reason it ends with Hyperion.
Yeah, this is the
directly out of that weird Heroes Reborn, not Heroes Reborn.
Yeah, it was.
What?
It was
that what they just reused the title?
Yeah, they didn't use the title, and it was reason that was Agent Coulson created his own reality where everything was strong.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where that was from.
Yes. So Hyperion is freaking out, and he is going to destroy the Earth. So right as Storm joins the team, now they're going to have to fight
Hyperion. Because Hyperion, basically, after everything that's happened, because again, this is a mental health awareness kind of issue. Hyperion basically says, I don't like how Earth is. So
it was better when I was the hero.
Yeah, I'm just going to blow it up. So he basically flew out to Pluto and then is flying directly at the Earth, and he's going to fly through it. So he's going to do like what Nolan from Invincible did when he flew around and would destroy planets. So that's what he's basically going to do. Now they have to stop him. So that's the big baddie they have to stop, is this depressed Hyperion who's gonna destroy everything.
Another connection to Exiles. Look at that. I can connect almost anything to Exiles.
You really could. I thought it was great that he gave them all a warning, though. He basically was like, I knew. And did you, the shadowy figure, did you know that was Hyperion? I knew it was.
Well, yeah, they gave it away. And so the problem is there's I was going to say, there's no surprises anymore when you got to solicit books 3 months in advance. So I mean, I knew when we did our ordering that he was going to be the villain, sadly.
Well, it's not. It's another variant of him. So this is the one from that universe. So yeah. I don't know where the other one went. So there might be two running around now. I don't know at this point. I really don't know what's going on. Barlord said that he checked out of Jason Aaron's run. Yeah, I tried it, and I just couldn't. I don't know. Like when I was at San Diego Comic-Con, I saw him. Jason Aaron, he was chatting with someone. I looked at him and I'm like, huh, okay. I just kind of kept walking. So it's funny. I was just like, hey, it's Jason Aaron. Okay. I just kept walking. They're just like you and me. They're just like us.
Except they write comic books and ruin characters.
Hey now. Hey, we've got to be nice. We might have him on the show in the future.
Really?
I would have him on the show and ask him.
All right. I'll interview him. I'll be like, do you do any backstory? Do you go back and read about people before you just write them? Yes, I hope his Absolute Superman is good. No, we will be reading that.
Absolute Superman, I tell you now what Absolute Superman's going to be. Absolute Superman is going to fight a variation of Conan, and it's going to be sword and sorcery. And I tell you, I swear to God, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be this weird Arthurian book. Conan O'Brien, I'm down for that. That's right. It's going to interview Conan O'Brien. So the next three books that we're going to talk about is all X books. So I just want to I don't say I want to warn you, but we're going to spend the last part of this talking about the X books, because the X books have really been kind of hit or miss. I think Rich would say a lot more misses than hits. But I do think that we might have a little bit of different points of opinion on one book in particular, but we'll talk about it. So the first book we're going to talk about is X-Men #2. Why is Psylocke's sword a web from Spider-Man?
Okay, no. This guy following Twitter is so funny. He's like, do you think Psylocke can stop wrapping her sword in bacon? Now all I see are bacon strips on that stupid effing sword.
It's bacon!
It's bacon, people. And now I can't read it without seeing bacon.
It's one of the weirdest design choices I've seen for her psychic stuff. So
yes, with the butterfly at the what is it called? The hilt? What is that thing called?
Well, it's a I forgot.
Whatever the top part of the sword is. Yeah.
Guard.
All right, so yes, bacon does make everything better. I love bacon. Okay, Jed MacKay, this is his second book. He is also the writer of The Avengers. The penciler is Ryan Stegman. The inker is J.P. Mayer. Colorists are Marte Gracia and Fer Cifuentes Sujo. The letter is VC's Clayton Cowles, and Marvel loves their variant covers, so there was a bunch of them for this. And that cover artist, the cover was done by Stegman, Meyer, and Gracia.
That's all you bacon lovers out there.
Yes, bacon lovers. All right.
I do not like Cyclops' visor. He looks like he's from the 80s. It's very Devo-esque. I don't like its design. It's weird. It's very 80s. So I want you to say what you thought of this first.
I don't know if I'll be reading this book past issue 5 or 6. I do not enjoy this book at all. At all. At
Why?
all. At all. I've been reading X-Men longer than this man has been alive.
But it's action.
It's what? There's no action. No. I my heart, whatever is left of it, hurts for what the X book are becoming. They really are.
Well, this one in particular, let's say this one in particular, because
okay.
Yeah. So
regression, Ilyana, regression.
Yeah, she is sounding like a spoiled teen. I don't understand the characterization of Juggernaut at this point. He seems like a dumb older brother.
Yep.
Quentin is just annoying as hell. And the fact that Psylocke says that he might be a stronger telepath, she has more willpower. And I never accepted, I don't know why, but I never accepted that Quentin Quire, and he wants him to be called Kid Omega, and that pisses Cyclops off. I think it's kind of funny. I think that's one part I think it's kind of funny, but it just seems like I can't accept him as an Omega level telepath. I just can't. Something about it. I just don't. But yeah, the book is kind of all over the place. Like the main thread. The main thread is that there seems to be mutants their mutations are triggering older in life. And so this was alluded to in the first issue, when they met like the children of the 6th school or something like that is what they're called or whatever. And so they seem to be these people that are like kickstarting their mutation. And so maybe this is a person that had it, but we have another reality warper, who was introduced. So that, whenever you bring someone who has, the power of a god, it kind of reduces the story, in my opinion, because it's very hard to make that person relatable. Right. He's homeless in San Francisco, so that's very on brand right now and topical. And his social worker is trying to help him, but he believes that he was abducted by aliens, and so aliens kind of pop up and they have to fight them, but then they realize that they're just projections, and they basically fake his death and then take him away, and they're trying to see what's going on with him. So while all these mischaracterizations are going on left and right with these characters, there is a story there, but it's way far in the back, and a reader shouldn't have to tease it out, like you have to, because the only way you would have remembered this from the first issue that connects it to is because the character himself says, when Scott says you're a mutant, he said that's impossible. I should have had this a long time ago. So that is the only thing that we're getting any kind of connective tissue to the first one. So I see what Jed McCabe's doing and trying to build a story. It's just the way that he's doing it is just not very good.
Yeah.
Yes, you're a mutant, Harry. Yes, exactly. And Barlow, it is kind of convoluted. Yeah, go ahead.
It really is. I gotta be honest. I have a problem with Jason Aaron in his writing when he takes over a book and changes everything about characters. And I think one of the biggest things for me in this book was when Scott says, "Worried, I have two wildly dangerous women with enormous swords looking out for me. When I was 13, I thought this was what heaven looked like." Really? I don't think so. Yeah. I think you were too in love with Jean to even think about women with swords. Like, this is what I mean. I guess because I've been reading these characters for so long, any little bit of their characterization, like, I like it. Like, okay, we were talking last time we got together, we were talking about I got to remember, Force.
Yes.
And Sage. Sage had gone through, in the last volume of X-Force, a huge growth in her character. And then it ends. So now we have these new brand of writers in these new X books. Are they taking anything in the past into consideration? Because the little thing about Psylocke not being powerful, we had that Psylocke mini. We had her dating Grey Crow. Whoa, our Psylocke sips. Yes, the art is. I like Stegman's art. He is very stylized in this book.
Over stylized in this one. Like his Spider-Man stuff when he did like Renew Your Vows and all that stuff, and with what's his name? Oh, the little guy, Ewok guy, not Peter David, the other guy. Anyway, the guy's doing Spider-Boy. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's weird. They're all written like teenagers. Like it really seems like it really seems like it's like a Disney teens kind of game. And I think maybe they're writing it to appeal to a younger crowd, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
So now that you said that, my friend Don, Don, he believes that some of these new books are actually being written for the younger crowd. And what you just said actually kind of is his take on this as well. Because I was talking to him about this X-Men issue, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on with these characters.
But it's kind of contrast to, and I know X Factor is next, but if we could show, let's because that's a really good pivot into Uncanny X-Men. So we're going to talk about Uncanny X-Men number 1 now. And I think Uncanny X-Men number 1 is the exact opposite of this.
I agree.
Because I think this book right here, this is going to sound really bad and very ageist, but it's for adults. I'm sorry. Like the relationships that they're talking about, the dynamics that they have, the way they speak to one another, this sounds like the X-Men.
I agree.
Much more
100%
than the X-Men. It just, I don't know. It's just literally like light and day. It's weird, It's just, hey, hardcore BB or baby hardcore. It's like night and day.
And I'm gonna say I credit that all to the amazing writer Gail Simone.
Yeah.
The artist is David Marquez. Color artist is Matthew Wilson. VC's Clayton Cowles did the lettering, and that cover there. It is. In some cases, some might say a basic cover, but it shows you the X-Men. And that was done by David Marquez and Matthew Wilson. And there was a butt ton of variants for this as well.
There was. They were crazy.
Yes, Kelly, that is the reason. There's acknowledged history. These characters are have all been together for the longest time. And Gail Simone accepts that and just brings that into the story. And I think that is what made it. There's only 4 characters in this book. Well, 3 up until Nightcrawler comes in. There are 3. You get 3 X-Men, and it had more heart and more X-Soul than we've gotten in a long time. And I absolutely, and the foreshadowing of what's coming, the weird kids that come out of the woods, sitting around a campfire. Sitting around a campfire was exciting.
The fight with the dragon, like they had a dragon.
That was awesome.
And then there was just something about I don't know. It was just the conversations that they had when they were reflecting upon Krakoa and how Rogue was like, I feel like I have to do something. And Wolverine was like, I'm not doing anything with Cyclops and everything like that. You know, I'm not doing, I don't know. It just read like, and of course I think that, you know, Gail Simone has really been a writer in the business for a long time. She's written teen books. She's written family oriented books.
Pick this up. Yes, it's a dragon.
Yes, Scarf. It's great, and the fact and how Gambit and them, how they beat it's almost like a Quizzicatle.
Awesome.
Hi Ryan, welcome in. How Gambit beats it is so Gambit like. It was like a breath of fresh air from all of the different stuff that has been happening. And X-Men, it's just good. It's not rushing anything either. Like it's taking its time. Like they actually sit down at a campfire and they're talking about, like, they're processing stuff, and the way that the processing sounds like their voices. Number one, as characters, and number two, it makes sense that they would do this after being a family. That's not what we're getting in X-Men. And nope. X-Men, we're getting, we gotta go have fun. Woohoo! We gotta go out. I want to get in the big cannon. I want to get fired. I don't know. I want to do that. I did not say breath of fresh air, did I? I probably did. I don't know. I'm hungry. Like I said, we're only gonna be doing the show for an hour now, 6 to 7, and we gotta let JD have his time.
One left.
So we got one left we're gonna talk about, and I think this is gonna be the more controversial one between Rich and I, but we will try to wrap it up in a positive manner. So we're gonna talk about X Factor number 1.
Oh, you mean Ecstatics? Because Peter Milligan and Michael Allred did this almost a decade and a half ago. So much better. That's all I'm saying. I hated this book. I had big hopes for this book. I texted Des. I'm like, oh my God, have you seen the pages? I'm so excited. And then I read it and I texted him, I don't really want to talk about this book because I hated it so much.
And I know he didn't say that. He said, do we really have to talk about this book? And then I said, okay.
You must have hated it.
If you're texting me about this book at this time of night, you must have really hated it. And I was like, wow. And he just responded with a laughing emoji. And I was like, okay, we've been doing this for way too long. We've known each other for way too long. I didn't hate it. And I will tell you why.
Why?
I think that you are exactly correct. This is Ecstatics 2.0.
Yes.
It is exactly that. I think that making a team like X Factor, and playing with that idea, because if you know the original X Factor, they were a covert military team in order to track down mutants, but they lied to the government because they were actually saving them instead of turning them over to the government.
Yes, the original 5.
Yeah, the original 5. And so that, I think that's what they want to do. At least that's what Havoc wants to do.
Right. Oh, hold on 1 second. So JD, it is actually Feral, Pyro, Havoc, and Joanna Cargill. Does she have a code name?
Yes, it's at the end. It's at the back. They give all their code names at the back. So you have exactly what happened in the Ecstatics.
Frenzy.
Yeah,
that's her name.
Angel goes on a mission with some people. The whole thing is about rebranding, and people hate this version of X Factor because they're not the old X Factor. People hate them and they're mutants, and so mutants are calling them traitors, sellouts, and humans are calling them, evil and they don't like them. So of course, it's all about branding, and so you send them on a mission versus someone that everyone hates, Russian mutants. And so you create this tragedy. So they go and they fight Darkstar. Great to see her again and her mercenaries.
Oh, yes.
I thought that was fantastic. People get killed, people get injured. Angel gets injured because I guess he can't go into his Archangel form anymore.
What the hell's up with that?
I don't know when that happened or why. So I don't know, because that didn't happen in Era of Apocalypse.
No.
So I don't. And I thought maybe
2 weeks ago we still changed.
Yeah, I thought I might have missed something, but I don't know. But anyway, basically, long story short, too late. They die, and then it creates this sentiment of people liking X Factor now because they survived. They fought someone that's against America and liberty, so now people like them. But there's this. The guy who's running it is doing this for this military woman in order to appease her. In order to the bigger goal is to have mutants fighting for America, right? Because he believes that mutants are gonna be the WMDs when World War III hits or something.
Yes, and that again is another thing that we see is in Gail Simone. We have this woman who tore apart the manor, and is high on the military. And then in this book, once again, we have the military going in. Yes, weapons of mass destruction. What is the end game for this book? Because we know the end game, the woman wants an uncanny.
Yeah. So again, I think that there are nuggets in there that are good. I liked the drama between Polaris and Havoc. Polaris being more militant. My name is Polaris, not Lorna Dane, because because Lorna Dane is her slave name. And so Havoc is like, my name is Alex, not Havoc. So there's this ideological thing about it, but how they don't like each other about it. And so Havoc goes in, and there's this new. I thought the costumes looked great. I think the one thing that I hate is that little XF thing. They need to get rid of that. They need to sew that up because it looks like they got a tear in their clothing. It's horrible. That is the worst part about it. Seriously, that splash page at the end, I actually thought it was good. I actually kind of like this. Like, I don't know why I like it. Maybe I'm a sucker, but I actually kind of liked it, and I wanted to see where it was going.
I was happy that we got to see Rusty, sadly, dead. I'm happy Farrell. You wanted to end on something positive. I'm happy Farrell did not die. Positive.
There you go. I was sad that Rusty died. I was sad and that one kid that gives the one kid that gives the explosion, like he survived, but he got all busted up, and like Warren is all in the hospital. I don't know. There's something there. There's something there. Yes,
I do want to see more of Granny Smith or Granny Smite. The Golden Girl mutant, who's immortal, and she just wants to die. I think that's the shtick for her. Hey, it's 6:55. That was a quick show.
I know, it goes by really fast when it's just two of us chatting, and then all you fantastic, beautiful people. So yeah, we're gonna continue to do this. So hopefully I'll be able to get out early from work and come in and do this. That's from 6 to 7. I want to thank you all for coming in and sticking with us with our change
thank you
time
so much,
and sticking here even though we did not have a giveaway this time. I'm going to try to bring it back, just having to work out schedules and whatnot, but I do appreciate it. I know Rich does as well.
I do too. I love you all. Thank you.
Yes, because we honestly love doing this and talking to you, as you can see, during our genuine conversation in our faces and stuff. And yes, the Marvel Prophet has spoken. Good.
Don't make his head get any bigger than it already is.
Ew. So on that note, we're gonna head out. Again, thank you everybody for coming in, and we will see you next time. Next Thursday.
Stay tuned for Sketch Up with Mog and Mel. They follow us.
Yes. So as always, thank you so much. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
We know you probably get a lot of emails, but could you please make sure to sign up for our mailing list? We don't send a lot of emails, and we try not to bother you. We just want to give you the best information about all the cool stuff that's going on around here. Sign up on our website, theexplive.com.